So a little behind the scenes as we're walking to the line, and we're going to go watch my black Civic Type R being built. That is
my black Civic Type R.
Are we sharing it? I'll send you the payments.
No, please, I don't want
Oh my gosh. What is going on, everybody? You have no idea how excited I am right now. So like I said, we are at the Honda plant in Swindon, UK, and we're going to be watching the Type Rs come off the line. In fact, we're waiting for my personal Type R to come off this line right behind me. Right now they're working on the gray ones. So what's going on behind me is they're just done with paint. After paint, they're going to go around this whole assembly line that I'm going to show you guys. We're going to watch them put the interior on, put the engine in, go through final inspection. It's going to be epic. In fact, I'm going to ask if we actually take a little test drive, which is going to be really cool. So right now they're doing the gray ones. We have just a little bit, and we're going to come back when the black ones come off. We're going to watch you go through the entire thing. That was the gray. This is the championship white. After the championship white comes my black one. So we've been waiting here for about 15 minutes for the black ones to arrive. We've watched the gray ones come out, we've watched the white ones come out, and I was just told that we're 1 or 2 cars away from the black ones coming through. And I think, yeah, I think the next one, right? That's it. So yeah, so there's this one right here. There's one behind this, and the next one's gonna be a black one. And my personal car is gonna be one of the black ones coming out. So we're gonna be able to actually see my car being built today in Swindon. It's gonna be awesome. So we're gonna let's just keep rolling. I see it. This is, I don't even know how to describe how I'm feeling right now. I'm like scared and excited and energetic, and it amazes me that I'm actually standing here about to watch my own personal car that I'm gonna own for as long as I'm gonna own it being built with my own eyes. I never thought I'd have this experience, and it's awesome. So up above my head is the first black one, and all of these are set up for the US market. So they're building 21 black ones today, and this is gonna be the first black one that they're building. As you guys are about to see, this is just the shell. But this shell is about to be turned into the fastest front-wheel drive car on the Nürburgring, and the fastest production front-wheel drive car. At this point, the Honda Civic hatchback and Type R may look very similar, but Honda has actually added 6.5 meters of weld adhesive, making the body much stronger. And that aluminum hood not only keeps the engine cooler, it also reduces the top weight above center of gravity. And finally, wider steel fenders make room for those Type R 20-inch wheels. What's interesting to know is one of the very first things that go on the car is they put a couple fuel lines in the car and a couple of small bits and pieces. The first actual piece is really that rain channel that goes underneath the hood scoop, and that's what this first lady here is installing. A couple really interesting things to know. As we go down the line, each of these workers have 69 seconds to do their job. Let me rephrase that. They only have 69 seconds to do their job because the car is moving, they're standing still. So if they're not done, the next guy needs to do all their work. So they have this little white piece of paper that shows them not how to do the job, but basically what tools and what parts you're gonna be putting on the car, because on this same line, they build Civics, they build CR-Vs, they build them all on the same line, so they need a little cheat sheet to know what tools to grab. And from this point forward, it's 4 hours. So it's 4 hours to take a car from here, install everything, including the engine, get it all the way to testing, and then do the test drive at the very end. So the cars come off without the front end module, and this is a module that Honda specially designed to put the front end in at the end of this whole system. And the reason why is look at how easy it is for people to install things in the engine bay without the front bumper and that front end module in there. They can do that, which is going to make their job easier. When we get down further, I'll show you exactly how that module gets installed. Another interesting thing to note is there's no doors. The car gets painted with the doors on it, then the doors get removed, they get numbered, and then they get put all the way to the end of the line. That's one of the last things that are going to go in the car. This allows the workers to get in and out of the car, put the seats in, put the interior in, without worrying about walking around the doors or possibly scratching a door. So the steel for these cars come in these big, huge panels, and here they press them, they mold them, and that all happens before paint, before we see what's going on. You have a brake booster, you have heating and air conditioning tubing, and for some strange reason, you have one reflector. I don't know why there's only one reflector on there. Probably this side, maybe the other side has the other one, but it's a very strange collaboration of parts that I wouldn't normally think would go together at this point. Now for the headliner, and what better way to put a headliner in is right through the front windshield. An interesting side note, the right-hand rear tail light goes in right here, but the left-hand tail light does not. Wonder why. Those Type R red seatbelts. What's interesting to me is what order they put things in. I mean, the tail light thing is kind of strange. They just installed the subwoofer. There's no interior. There's no seats. You'd think the subwoofer would be one of the last things, but it's actually one of the first. So the first major part of the interior is being installed behind me, the dashboard. It's also one of the first parts that's kind of semi-robotic, because the robotic arm brings this dashboard around, and then the guys put it in place and seal it all up. One of the things that makes the Type R is the 2-liter turbocharged 306 horsepower engine, and that's what they're starting to install behind me. What's cool though is up until this point the cars have all been going this way in a row like you drive. At this point they actually flip it around sideways so they can put the engine right in. So the heart of the Type R, that's that 2-liter engine. This engine is actually built in Ohio, shipped over here for some final assembly, and then installed in the Type R. As you guys can see behind me, they're lowering the engine. What's cool is when it gets to this point, the Brembo calipers are already on it. The engine's complete. All they have to do is take it off this rack here and install it right inside the Type R. So cool. After they install the engine, they actually don't start the engine until the very end. When it's about to go on the dyno, when they're about to take the test drive, that's the first time they ever start the engine. What just passed me was a rear suspension for the car. And it's being brought around the factory here on what looks like magnets of some sort. Pretty cool design how they have it set up. We talked about at the very beginning that front end module and how they don't put that at the very beginning, they wait till towards the end. This is kind of where they're going to be putting it in. You can see them all behind me here. It's basically the front bumper. It's going to have the fans and the cooler and the intercooler in it. And that's going to go in after the engine's installed. Cool. In a matter of a few minutes, we went from essentially a shell all the way to the engine going in, the rear sub-assembly going in, the brakes going on, and check out this front bumper going on. One clip, two clip, and up, there's the Type R bumper. All done. It's amazing. A little side note, you see those holes on the right-hand side of the bumper? Those holes are actually specially designed for sound to come out for the horn. And now it gets all covered up and protected. On to the next step. Time for the exhaust system. That's what's going to give this Type R an amazing note. The exhaust gets installed in one big piece, coming back to the 3 mufflers. And if you guys remember, this center muffler here, the center muffler is done just for sound, to take away some of the booming sound under highway acceleration. You guys saw those big red Brembos? Well, behind me, they're putting on the tires, 20-inch Type R tires. Let me show you something cool about the center cap. The center cap is a big red H, and that Honda sign lines up perfectly with the valve stem. The guy behind me is the guy that personally lines it up and taps it in. These crazy looking machines are actually putting all the glass in. They put the glue around the edges. They have these very sticky suction cups that grab the glass, spin it around, and install it in the car. This is probably the most robotic part of the whole installation, and it is, can I say magical? Pretty magical. Inside these bins are loads and loads of Type R rear wings. Those big fat rear wings, this is where they install them. Check this out. And this is where the Type R badge number comes in. Now the badge number is going to be in the center of the console. It does not match the VIN number, but it is a limited numbered badge, and there's only one of each number. Right behind me, you guys can see they're installing the Type R seats. These are red, and just so you know, it's a 4-seater, so there's 2 seats up front, a bench in the back, but only room for 2.
Oh, it is going on, I see now.
Yeah. Those machines are crazy. So the doors that got painted and left the car early on get assembled, get door panels, they get speakers put in, they get windows put in, all the electronics, and they finally meet back with the same car it was painted with all the way here towards the end of the line. My Type R finally has doors. We have to be near the very end because this is where they're going to put the fuel in, and they put in just under 2 gallons of gas. We are almost there. The steering wheel's on. There's a couple of panels just still to be put inside, and this is the very first time they start up the beast. Behind me is the end of the line. This is where they're going around with a little feeler gauge to make sure that everything's tight, everything's exactly how it's supposed to be. Now let's take a closer look at the car and let's go for a test drive in my car. So guys, I'm here with Phil, head of manufacturing operations at Honda UK. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So we've been walking around seeing the car being built. Now I have some questions about the car.
Okay.
So some of the questions we have, I say we because I have a lot of fans that have asked the same question. The current Type R that's in Europe, that engine, is that engine different than what's going to go in the new Type R?
No, it's basically the same engine. It's the same power plant from our friends over in Anna Engine Plant in the States. So Dennis Kovacs and his team over there did a great job for us. There's some slight modifications on layout under the engine bay, but intrinsically it's the same engine.
And transmission the same as well?
Yep. Yep.
It's going to be epic. People are super excited about that. And since we're talking about differences, the European difference compared to the American spec. So American spec is 306 horsepower, and everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
The European spec is 316. Same engine though.
Yeah.
What changed?
Fuel. Fuel is the main difference. Obviously in the States, you're not running at the 98 RON level. Over here we run 98 RON in nearly every fuel station you'll go to. So this engine is tuned at 98 RON, so the ECU is mapped in that way. But I think if a higher octane fuel was used in the car in the States, then you'd have similar power output.
That makes sense.
The
And
ECU would remap automatically.
and it's set up for 99.
Yeah, maximum.
Maximum. So we run, like sometimes we have 104 octane at race spec in the US. We ran 104, it won't do any more for it.
No,
it's maxed out at 99.
Yeah.
So I just showed you guys the Civic Type R production from beginning to end. And this is my black Civic Type R. Now that it's done, we're about to go take a test drive on it. Come with me, let's have some fun. So kind of explain what you're testing for, because you're going to test all the cars, not just mine. You do this for all the cars built.
Yeah, so there's a group or a section in the factory called Vehicle Quality Assurance, and these guys will drive every one of the cars that we build. Every single one of those come down our test track to confirm everything's built correctly.
Okay.
So we'll do a couple of runs. We normally only do this once, but we can do this a couple of runs. Obviously you've got comfort mode, sport mode and Type R mode. Start in comfort.
Okay.
Guys who go down here, they'll be checking every gear change, they'll be checking every system on the car, they'll be going through every single...
All the electronics, everything
Yeah.
you can't do on the line, you need to do speed.
They'll
Okay.
confirm with adjustment, they'll be listening for any bumps or rattles or squeaks or anything coming from the car at the same time.
And every car gets done with this. So when people buy their cars from the dealership and they say that there's 8 or 9 miles on it, it's because you guys are testing them.
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, everything's done on it. And obviously with the new FK8, there's the auto blip on the downshift.
How does that,
Which is great.
and that wasn't on the old one?
No, wasn't on the FK2.
So you're going to downshift, it's automatically going to blip the throttle for you.
Yep.
You can definitely tell the hood's aluminum now.
Yeah.
You can see the flex in the hood, how the aluminum moves.
This is okay as a one-off. I wouldn't fancy it every day, all day.
This is good though, because this one's gonna be driven a lot in Chicago, and our roads actually feel like this.
Okay, yeah.
So this will be perfect for me.
And as you can hear this. Unfortunately, there is the plastic being added to this car, so that we can hear that, but there's no other noises from this car at all.
Solid, extremely.
Should we try Type R mode?
Sure.
Pretty uncomfortable.
Oh, it completely, you can feel the, oh God, oh my gosh. So Type R mode's gonna just change the dampening of the suspension.
Yeah,
along with the steering and that. A big change, good.
More responsive steering and more responsive throttle as well.
Oh my gosh. So are we back in comfort mode?
Back in comfort mode is definitely more enjoyable as an everyday sort of drive.
So there's comfort, there's normal, then there's Type R.
Comfort, sport,
Sport and Type R, that's right. Comfort, sport, and Type R.
Default mode is always sport, so every time you get in the car, you got that.
As it should be.
That's wheel spin.
So you downshift, it automatically blips the throttle.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. It's seamless.
here, then the car's for us. I think it's pretty much perfect. We would take it straight into this building and go straight for shipping. Do you want another lap?
The Honda Pro is the keys to your new Type R.
Thank you very much, Neil. I appreciate it. Great job.
Cheers.
This is my new Type R. We watched it being built. We saw the assembly. We took the test drive. This is the car. How awesome. Let's check it out. So, of course, the 20-inch wheels with the Brembo brakes, the drilled rotors. I can't even talk right now, honestly. This is unbelievable. I never thought that I'd be standing here taking delivery, not really delivery, they still have to ship it to the US, but basically seeing the car that's mine. This is unreal, and I'm beside myself. I'm standing in the factory where my car is actually built, and these are the keys. This is unreal. I mean, it just looks amazing. Looks absolutely awesome. I'm going to tell you guys that I'm going to debadge the back, so I am going to take the Civic off of the back. I think I'm going to leave the Type R just because it's like the dark with the red on there. I really think that looks cool. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to get this home and drive it and show it everyone. And bringing this to all my events. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Oh, guys, I don't know what else to say other than from Swindon, England, in the place that built my Type R. I'm the Honda Pro, and now you're in the know.